that we need to understand is that there will be flood-related injuries. There might be some cases of flooding and people being carried by the waters. There are the traumas that come with heavy rains. You see, because the rains rained when you're on the road, and there are great floods, and the Lord just salvages you from drowning. So that one might cause the trauma. And every time that you hear heavy rains, there is some possibility of having the trauma. Hello, millionaires in the making. I hope you're doing well. I totally believe that you're doing well, and I thank God that He has given us another opportunity to get informed on different things which are happening in our nation. Indeed, health is our wealth, and that's why I want us to be healthy in this season, this rainy season, when we have very heavy rains happening everywhere in our nation. And I want to prevent ourselves from getting attacked by different diseases during this season. Point number one, we need to understand that this is the season where vector-borne diseases will be rampant. Vector-borne diseases are diseases like malaria, dengue fever, and other diseases which are caused through the bites of vectors. And now that the vectors will multiply in number, the diseases which are transmitted by those vectors are expected to multiply also. So be very careful, protect ourselves. Let's wear clothes with long sleeves that we may not be bitten by the mosquitoes. Let's use mosquito repellents. Let's use sleep under mosquito nets, and even the oils that repel mosquitoes, the mosquito coils. Let's try and use everything within our reach that we may protect ourselves from malaria. The other thing that we cannot also rule out the respiratory infections. Those people maybe who suffer from asthmatic attacks, the colds and all that, because of the dampness that is happening in our houses. And most of the houses, especially with the heavy rains, you find that most houses have dampness, or the roof starts leaking from nowhere. There are rains everywhere in the house, so that dampness might cause respiratory diseases. So let's be careful, keep ourselves warm, stop passing where there are floods, or trying to test the depth of the waters with your feet. Kindly, you can use at least a stick or leg, because you'll be carried away by the waters, and we don't want that we may have those incidences or accidents during this season. Visit the doctor in case you have a diarrhea. It is not a normal diarrhea at this season. Make sure that you visit the nearest facility, go for testing, go for treatment, and be ready to that this season is just for a while, and we need each and every one of us in the next season. Prevent ourselves from water-related diseases like cholera, typhoid, and diarrheal diseases. Everything that comes with contaminated waters, contaminated food. This time around, be sure that those germs are very much aggressive, and if we are not very careful, we will find ourselves having attacks of cholera, attacks of malaria, and are very fatal. Fatal, by fatal I mean they can kill within a very short time. So we need to be prepared and to be very much alert. Then the other thing that you need to know is that this time around there might be some floods, accidents, and incidences, drowning in the waters. In those maybe the western part of those places that have the thunderstorms, the strikes. Please, let's be careful. Let's remain indoors if it is possible. It's not a must that we walk in the rain unless we are found by the rain on the road, because of the traumas that come with the drowning. You see, when people drown in waters, even those people who are around that person, they feel guilt. they feel like there is something that they would have done to prevent that person from being carried by the waters. And so the guilt of the people, they feel they are condemned. The person has already drowned. It has trauma, and even the aftermaths are very, very, very much traumatic, and people are not even able to cope, especially if a colleague is carried by the waters, or a child coming from school, or somebody coming from work, from wherever. Let me tell you, it is very traumatic, and we need to be careful at this heavy rain season. Then the other thing that we need to know is that the respiratory diseases like asthma, coughing, cold, it might be rampant at this time because of the dampness that comes with the rains. The houses maybe could be damp, some of the roofs could be leaking, might attack especially children and the elderly. Let everybody remain warm and remain under a roof, at least, not to be rained on. Contamination of foods, that there's so many garbage at the sides of the roads, because the water carried the waste from the dump sites, different places. They filled the septic tanks where the human waste is. So the water is contaminated, totally contaminated at this time. So even if you see like the water is clean, make sure that you use treat your water through boiling, or you use the chlorine, so that that water may be safe for drinking. Make sure that you eat hot food, because if you are using that water to warm the food, or the food is exposed somewhere, and the flies are bleeding in they are multiplying every day, so those flies will bring their contamination on your food. So let the food remain covered. Let us wash our hands before eating. Wash our hands with safe water. That water can be boiled, or it can be treated with chlorine, so that we may not wash our hands with contaminated water. Wash every fruit that goes to the stomach. And as we clean the fruits, let's use safe water. Let's use the water that we have boiled, or we use the water that we have treated with chlorine. And this will make us to go through this season. It is a very short season, but it is about a quarter. Within these 3 months, we need to be extremely careful, and we become those millionaires in the making. God bless you, and have a nice time, and let's meet in the next video. Updated. I'll keep you updated in case of anything. I'll keep you updated. Ciao. God bless you.